Hello, Tenno Zelp here, and today we're going to look at the Prisma Obex. So a few days ago, the trader came and it came with this weapon. So a lot of YouTuber has already covered on this weapon, so I'm not going to go into detail. Instead, I'm going to go for some kind of like sharing, do some comparison, and finally, we're going to talk about a possible bug with the Obex. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the moment you get this weapon, the first thing comes to mind is probably what kind of stance you want to use it on. Now, it does come with a Narumon polarity, so it fits really well with Brutal Tie. And currently, there's only two kinds of stance available for a sparring weapon like the Obex, which is Brutal Tie and Grim Fury. Personally, I like the Grim Fury more, and it's not so much of liking it a lot, is more of a disliking the Brutal Tie, and I'm going to explain why. And what I want you to do is just listen and see if the factors actually matter in your own game style, your gameplay style, right? If it doesn't, then you could go ahead. If it does, you might want to consider switching to a Grim Fury instead. So the thing about Brutal Tie is that the Infernal actually has one of the attacks to knock down enemy, and this is really good because one of the new augment for the Obex, which is Entropy Detonation, allows you to do a burst of AoE damage on the to enemies around you at a 10-meter radius and give you entropy if you could kill the enemy with a ground attack. Okay, so knocking him down with Brutal Tie is really it sinks really well, basically. Okay, now, but the problem here with the Brutal Tie to me is that when you attack, there's this movement. Now, this movement could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, depending on your own playstyle. The good thing is that if the enemy were to move slightly, you will have no problem constantly attacking while chasing after it. Okay, another good thing is that you could probably hop from one enemy to the other enemy really quickly as well while constantly attacking. Now, the bad thing is that if you're attacking really fast, now right now I'm not having any fury mods, no attack speed stuff, so my attack is kind of slow. But if your attack is fast, you might actually miss and go away from the enemy instead of constantly attacking the enemy. And I'm going to show you in just a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on the Prime Fury. Okay, and I'm gonna summon a heavy gunner, and hopefully you're gonna see what I mean. So I'm gonna show you the attack. Okay, so it goes down, ground finisher, very nice. Now I'm trying my best to, oh, see, I'm pointing at the enemy, but it still go off. Alright, so far so good. Oop. Oh, there you go, I missed a few. Oh, I missed again. Oh, I missed again. Now I'm trying my best. Also, you realize that he's on the floor and I'm not doing a ground finisher, because when you attack too fast, oh, I missed again. When you attack too fast, sometimes the ground finisher doesn't come out. So, okay, that's pretty good actually. Whoop, whoop. Okay, I hope you get my point. Sometimes I do fly off. There you go, see? It's kind of easy to get off track. So another thing that I have a problem with the Brutal Tie is that the charge attack that looks like this. Okay, now the initial attack that do this actually pushes the enemy further back, and what happens is that it will make your chop kick miss. Okay, so when you do this, your chop kick will miss, and the chop kick is the thing that actually opens the enemy to a finisher, and it's a counter attack finisher which ignores armor, therefore it does a lot of damage. So there is a way to overcome this, is by constantly moving towards the enemy by pressing like W or something, and when you pull it off, you'll notice that your chop kick kind of travels a little bit, and then it will be able to land on the enemy. Okay, but again, you need to constantly be moving. It's not something that I like, and I just removed my Prime Fury. So if I have that on, so I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, ooh, let it, there you go. So you see it misses. Okay, it misses again. So what I have to do is I have to constantly press towards the enemy, and that will sort of link. There you go. Oh, see? When you are when you're constantly moving towards the enemy, you also have the risk of losing that aim. And yeah. Jesus, what's happening? Okay, anyway, I hope you guys get what I mean, and this is the simpler reason for not wanting to use Brutal Tie in my case. Oh yeah, by the way, I feel like this is important to just let you guys know that I have both the align attacks to camera and also melee auto targeting on. The only thing that I do not have is the camera tracking melee target, which will open up a whole new different kind of problems for me. So yeah, I'm running with this too, and I'm still having that same problem with the Brutal Tie. So over here I have a build that I feel like a lot of people will probably go with or find this good. And I'm going to share with you a different kind of way of building it. So here is pretty much like a ground finisher kind of build. So the whole idea is to trigger your ground finisher as much as possible, so that maybe you could trigger this entropy detonation as much as possible. But the problem with ground finishers is that they do not ignore armor. So the armor will affect your damage, and if you are dealing with like heavy gunner at level 145, if your armor is if the armor is too high, you are not going to do significant damage enough to kill it for a really long time. So you really need to find a way to reduce that armor, and there are basically two ways, one with Shattering Impact, another one with Corrosive. Now, since this weapon is a fast-paced weapon, a lot of people might consider going with Shattering Impact instead, and then they could go with things like Viral to reduce the health by half, and you just basically have to deal with the other half. So it really looks very viable, it looks really good, and I'm not saying that it's bad, it does work. So you have Shattering Impact to remove the armor, you have the Viral to reduce the health, you have Brutal Tie to knock it down so that you could do your ground finisher. This will increase the ground finisher's damage. This might trigger, and also Prime Fury to attack faster to support your Shattering Impact, right? But the problem is this slot. What do you put here? Now if you put something like, if you want to increase the status chance and you put something like Voltic Strike or Volcanic Edge, okay, what this will do is it will mess up your ground finisher, because enemies that is in shock or panic, they are sort of immune to knock down. So that is gonna cause the Brutal Tie to be less efficient on knocking down the enemies, so that you can do a ground finisher. So instead, what you might want to do is you want to put something in like something to maybe support the Viral. So let's say Fever Strike, and this looks pretty good. Now again, I do not actually recommend going Brutal Tie with Prime Fury, but since we want Shattering Impact to trigger as fast as possible, I'm using this. Else you can actually use it with Condition Overload instead to give you more damage. But again, since you have only one element here, Condition Overload do not shine as bright, you know, as having two element procs on such a high status weapon. But nevertheless, let's take this for a spin and see what do we get. So here is a level 145 Heavy Gunner. Let him do that slam thing. Okay, so there you go, he fall down. Whoops. Okay, very good. So far so good. Oh, I'm so scared of falling down. So I've hit it like 70 over times now. There you go, all of the armor is gone. Oh my god. That was hard for me because the whole jumping around missing is just really annoying for me. So, but yeah, it took almost a full 80 plus hits, which is not really that great. Now let's try and change this with Condition Overload and see what happens. I think it will be better because without the Prime Fury I won't fly around that much. so it should be a little bit better. Let's just take a look. And also 60% more damage, so I should kill it like a lot faster. Okay, knock it down first. There you go. Whoa, do you see that damage? Condition overload, baby. Ooh. Oh, so close to dying. See, just 44 hits and it's dead. So probably not with the Prime Fury. So now, since without Prime Fury I am attacking at a slower rate, it kind of have a conflict here that I'm having Shattering Impact, because Shattering Impact are good again with weapons that attack really fast. So let's try again to alter this with the Corrosive instead. Okay, so remove this, put this over here. Now since I'm running with Corrosive, I can have another element which will help my condition overload as well. So let's just put in the Corrosive first. So Corrosive. Now if I do like this, I have Blast now. Now Blast also knocks enemies down, opening them to ground finishers. So that really helps in a ground finisher build. Okay, and on top of that, an extra status will give the condition overload more damage. So let's just go with this and see what happens. Okay, so this is a very status focus sort of build. Okay, let's start. Ooh, not too bad. Oh, 27 hits. Okay, now let's try and improve that some more, right? Let's try and improve that some more. Now the fact that you do not actually need to proc Blast that often as much as Corrosive, because once the Blast has procced, any additional procs does not make it fall down any sooner unless it has recovered like halfway or something. So you do not really need this to proc that often. So instead, let's skip this as that. We want to boost the chance of Corrosive proccing. So I'm going to remove this and put this over here. Now it's no longer 100%. Having 4 do stat mods actually overshoots the 100%, and I feel like it's a little bit of a overkill. 84% is just fine, and having the Corrosive at a higher, how do I say this? Higher chance rate of proccing, so further reduce the enemy's armor a lot faster. Now since I have Blast, do I still need Brutal Tie? I don't think so, right? So let's swap that out as well with Grim Fury, and let's see what happens. Here we go. Okay, let him do that thing. Okay, let's start. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Sorry about that. It's one of his combos. I'm sorry. Let's just do this again. I'll try to be more consistent with my combo. I just have to hit at the correct rate, I guess. Okay, let's do this. Okay, there you go. Whoa. If I could just do one more. There you go. So 32. But, okay, although it's 32 hits, but the time taken is actually shorter because the Grim Fury attacks are a lot faster in comparison with the with Brutal Tie. So to me, I like this build a lot more than the one that you saw just now at first. So before I forget, I do want to let you guys know that gas procs no longer adds 2 status stacks for your condition overload. They actually fixed this. Now it's only toxin, so you do not actually see the gas overhead display anymore. I believe they fixed this like 3 or 4 days ago, right after the Cyclone video that I made. So maybe DE do watch my videos. So here is a mag, and what I want to show you is that ground finisher is actually AoE. So if you could manage to pull enemies together, or if you are in a congested space and a lot of enemy is basically at that one spot where one finisher is going to affect all of them and it's going to kill them all together. And I'm going to show you that with mag. Second skill. Okay, so I'm going to summon 8 heavy gunners. gonna trap them with the second skill, and this will create an environment where it's safe to stand outside the bubble and also inside the bubble. Okay, and I'm gonna start hitting, and that's gonna proc blast. That's gonna make them fall, and the ground finisher is going to start showing its ability, basically. And there you go. Okay, to add to this, the entropy detonation also applied, so there's a lot of damage going on in that small congested space. So another interesting way of playing, which is a different build that I'm going to share with you, is the counterattack finishing build, sort of. So over here you can see that I have a lot of viral, okay, because I want to reduce the health by half, and everything is really basically just damage, okay, because remember that counterattack finishers will neglect armor, so you don't have to worry about things like shattering impact or corrosive here. You just want to go for full-on damage, and that will pretty much do. So I have a electric city mod here. Now electric and heat, okay, although it could sort of stun the enemy, it doesn't prevent them from entering that finishing animation or getting a counterattack finisher. It does prevent them from being knocked down, so you can't do a ground finisher, so it's a little bit different here. So you could use things like voltaic strike here, or even the fire one, which is, I forgot what it's called. And then yeah, and then also if this does proc, it's going to increase the condition overload even more, which is also great. So let's bring this out for a spin. Okay, so like just so you guys know that unlike Brutal Tie, when you do a charge attack, first of all, this is a little bit faster, okay, and unless your attack is the first two hit happen to be impact that staggers the enemy and pushes it back, your chop kick will not miss, okay, unlike the Brutal Tie. So let's run with a level 145 heavy gunner, and see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, very nice. You might want to hit it a few times first just to get some procs on, because I believe if you can get at least one proc on it, because of condition overload, it is going to die in one hit. So let's see if I could prove that. So slap him around. There you go. You see a proc now. Oh, yeah. Satisfying. Really, really satisfying. Anyways, now another thing I want you guys to know is that when you're doing the animation of a finisher, or even the ground finisher, which both has a weird animation, during that time frame you are actually invulnerable. That means outside damage does not hurt you, okay, but then after that there might be a delay, and also while you're trying to pull off, like let's say this one where you lift up your leg, yeah, all these things are slight delays which could cause you your life if the condition is really bad, like when you are surrounded by mobs. So yeah, all this delay kind of plays into puts into play, like it's important. What I'm trying to say is important, and you don't have to worry about the animation of the finishers. Now this finisher counterattack finisher build is pretty good, right? And it kills it pretty fast. But there is a weapon that I would consider probably the king of finishers, and I'm gonna use that and sort of compare it with the Obex. Now the Obex is a sparring weapon. The one that I'm gonna introduce you is not a sparring weapon. Instead, it is actually a fist weapon. So this weapon is the Tekko, and I modded this way. It is a critical build, but you can mod it whatever way you want, as long as it has high enough damage so that it could sort of kill instantly with the counterattack finisher. Okay, the magic happens with this stance, seismic palm, and the combo we are looking for is actually erupting Vulcan, and it's so easy to pull off. All you have to do is hold your right click and just attack. Now having the right click on is the block button, So it's also really handy in most situations because you want to avoid as much damage. So you'll be like running through this way, and then just by attacking you are going to start doing finishers. Okay, so let's see how this work out. Now I know this weapon is pretty good, so I'm going to start straight with 5 heavy gunner at level 145. Okay, again, Inaros is actually really good for this kind of situations, considering that for every fatal final counter attack, it actually heals. So Inaros is really perfect for this. Oh shit, there you go. Next. Oh, next. Yeah, next. Is this the last one? Oh, do you see that? It was like 100k damage on the last hit. So yeah, anyway, this is what I would call a really good counter finisher attack thingy. But can the Obex actually win this? Because the Obex, as you see it in the demonstration before, there is a delay where it has to move up his legs and all that thing. But interesting enough, there is a bug. So I believe it's a bug. I don't know if it's intended or not. Now the thing is, the Obex is really fast. Okay, like 1.33 without any Fury mods on is very fast. And when you make it even faster, so I'm just going to show it to you what happens when I put on a Prime Fury. It goes up to 2.07. Now at this point, to be honest, I don't think my fingers can actually spam as fast as it potentially could have hit. So I actually think it could hit a lot faster. I just can't tap that fast. So anyways, let's just see what happens here. Okay, let me explain a little bit first before we go in. At such a fast attack speed, the Obex allows you to do a finisher. When you do this, it pulls off immediately after the punch. So before the leg even raise, there is a finisher opening, and you can start doing your finisher damage from there. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure if it's a bug. It might not be a bug. It might be part of a mechanic. I have a theory on this, but I couldn't find a weapon that could mimic this theory, so I'm still a little bit fuzzy. Okay, so let's see. The few things that you have to have for this bug to work is you need really high attack speed and no prime reach. Okay, if you have prime reach on, you need to stay at a certain distance in order for it to work. So without prime reach, at touching distance is the correct distance, so it's going to be a lot easier to pull off without reach or prime reach. So you don't want to have reach, and you want to have prime fury, and with that you should be able to do this. And all you have to do is go really close to him and do a charge attack, and before you see the leg comes out, you're gonna see a finisher. Okay, and cool thing is you could block while doing this as well, so it's pretty much the same as the fist sort of. So I'm gonna run with, again, 5 heavy gunner. Now I might not be able to kill it in one hit, so we're gonna have to see what happens next. Okay, let's wait for them to all slam. There, do you see it? Oh, okay, so this one didn't work. There, you see? Okay, so I'm not killing it in one hit, and there's a very good reason why. So the simple reason is because I just simply do not have that much damage. Without the condition overload sweeping with the Prime Fury, my damage output has lagged a lot. Okay, so that's the reason why I couldn't one-hit it. Okay, there is another really important reason that why the fist weapon could do it and this weapon could not, is because the Obex actually has a really low base damage. Okay, let's just take a look at the Obex base damage. I would say it's about 25. Okay, about 25. And the Tekko is 45. So obviously it is a lot higher than the Obex, and that's the reason why this one could perform one hits really easily in relative to the Obex. Okay, however, is the Obex still good? Yes, it is. Okay, if I have a choice, I would definitely try to mod another V polarity over here, and then I could put a condition overload, and that will make it a lot stronger, maybe even one hitting the enemy from then on. But apparently FOMAs are really important to me, especially if you do what I do, so I am going to let you guys do the testing for this. So with this, the Obex is actually a little bit better, considering that it could pull off a finisher a lot faster than the Tekko, and there is something that the Obex could probably do that the Tekko cannot. So let's just take a look at what it is. Now I feel like I have to do something here. Let's say if I increase the chance of proccing coal, okay, just a little bit. Okay, now the idea is to understand the way the enemy kind of gets up. Okay, so when the enemy takes a counterattack finisher, it will fall flat on the floor if you do it in front of him, like that. If you do it behind him, oh, sorry about that. So if you do it behind him, he will stay standing, and you're gonna use this to our advantage. Do you see it? You can actually pull off many counter attack finishers over and over again by doing this way. So I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now I do know that there is a lot of new players in my Discord, so I would like to share a little bit more detail, especially on things that people do not really talk about. Although if you play the game long enough, most of the things here that you saw you might have already known. So sorry for being a little bit chatty and went on for, I believe, more than 20 minutes, but hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully it is helpful. Do like and subscribe. Don't forget to also join my Discord if you're new, because we have a lot of experienced players there as well that are willing to help you out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant day, Tano. Bye bye.